back. We're talking more liposuction today. Hope you're ready. Change your life, transform, go from big to small. We're doing all the things to get rid of the fat in your belly, your legs, your arms, wherever you want it. Liposuction is for fat removal. No cutting away the skin is done here. No tummy tucks required. No big scars, tiny little scars. But the results are phenomenal. They're amazing. They're huge. They're dramatic, and it can change your life. And those individuals that are right on the cusp of making huge life transformations, and you've decided that you're sick and tired of living the way that you're living, sick and tired of doing things that are getting you in these situations in your life that you don't like, whether that's not having energy, lack of confidence. When it's time to change, it's time to change. And right now we got this 15% off special going on right now, which is a great opportunity for those of you who are looking to make a change. Now is the time to do it. This only comes around a few times a year at max. So that's why a lot of our previous patients are taking advantage of this now, because they know that now is the time to take advantage of the pricing. So when you're ready, the first step is you want to get your pricing. You can do that through our quick quote system. If you're on Facebook, up in the post right here, there's a link for the quick quote. If not, you can go to our website, myshapelipo.com. You can do that while we're talking right here. Just go there, you put in some basic information, and it'll based on your choices, it'll give you a price. Now those prices are pretty accurate. It'll also show you based off of the BMI, the limitations, the safety protocol that we follow. So it gives you pretty accurate recommendations based off of the information that you submit. And once you're serious, once you're ready to make your life change and you're going to take it to the next level, and especially if you want to take advantage of this 15% off special, the next step is you have to do the formal consultation. That's where you're going to send in pictures. I need to see and talk to you. So we got to make sure that we're on the same page, that your expectations are in line, and we can come up with a realistic plan to get you these huge dramatic changes in your life. I also want to make sure that we're on the same page as far as the life transformation, because these type of results don't stay unless you change your lifestyle. So the activities and habits and things that you're doing now that led you to gaining this weight or being in a situation where you don't like the way that you look, the things that you've done that have led up to that are the things that have to change. And if you don't change those things, then you can't expect for these type of results to last forever. If you continue to gain weight, then you're going to continue to be unhappy with yourself. So it's important to change those lifestyle changes. And those individuals who are ready to make that serious change now are the ones I really want to work with, because they are the ones that get these results and then take it to the next step, meaning they continue on with the lifestyle changes and they do the things that are necessary to get even better results as they continue to enhance their body and improve their lifestyle. I say, can you only back lipo be done? Can only back lipo be done? Yeah, lovely. Anything's possible. The pricing that we have on the quick quote is for the most common procedures. If you're, it'll kind of give you a price idea of where we stand as far as the pricing. And then if you want some, less common area treated, we can absolutely do that. We can take fat from anywhere, but that would be something that I would suggest getting the formal consultation, and we can speak directly. Then we'll get you a reasonable price. And it's going to be based off of the quick quote system, so it's not going to be like astronomical. You can get some idea of what the pricing will be. Okay, do you do any giveaways for people that can't afford it? Just curious. Kate, that's what we're doing now. I mean, it's not a giveaway, but it's 15% off. It's a discount. Do you have a weight limit? So Shaylin, we don't have limits. I actually don't have any limit. However, there's going to be some limitations for larger individuals, but you can see by our pictures we do very large individuals, and I'm sure that we can help you. The recommendations and the expectations are different as you get larger. It's a different ball game. So if you're serious, I would suggest getting on doing the quick quote, figure out if you fit into our system, great. If you don't fit into our system, then submit for the formal consultation, and then we got to evaluate you specifically. Now, the reason why the quick quote doesn't have any recommendations for people over the BMI of 44 is simply because as the BMI goes up higher, I've found that there's a huge discrepancy in the distribution of the fat on the individuals and that size. So the recommendations are going to be all over the place. So that's why we recommend doing the formal consultation, so we can we can actually get eyes on the pictures and get an idea of what is needed. So that's the reason why we don't offer the quick quote for people over 44 BMI. So we got Kat from MyShape. She's on Facebook now, answering questions, and I think we got one of our other girls on Instagram here. I thought I saw her somewhere. But a really cool thing with this special, I've been getting in touch with a lot of our old patients, not old, but previous patients, the ones who have had previous procedures years back. And since it's like this brings all the people out of the woodworks, I mean, we offer a special because they know that there's the serious value that's offered at this point, and that this kind of special doesn't come around very often. So a lot of our previous patients are getting consultations, and I'm able to speak with them. One of our famous girls, Rebecca, she's very active on the private Facebook group. And those of you who are interested, you're looking to get into this, and you're not sure, what to think, you're not sure what to trust, you should get on our private Facebook group. So when you go to Facebook, you're going to search MyShape Lipo Support Group, and from there you'll find a lot of these pictures that we're showing behind me. These are the actual individuals. We'll be sharing them on that group, so you can communicate directly with the individuals. And this is Rebecca here. Rebecca's had quite a few procedures. This is when she had her midsection treated. She's also had her upper body treated, and now she is coming back for her lower body. So you can see how she treated her upper body here as well. Now, Rebecca's one of these people who she's been like a rock star as far as following directions. She also did her chin, you can see there. But she's made all the lifestyle changes. She's continually improving her diet. She's continually improving her exercise routine, and she's keeping herself accountable. But not only that, she's been very active on the group, which I believe helps to keep her accountable. So, because when you start helping other people and you start telling other people, hey, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, and you give recommendations, you seem like a hypocrite if you don't actually follow those recommendations yourself. So Rebecca's definitely one of those mentors that she walks the walk, and when she tells you, hey, you should be trying this thing, it's because she's already done it and she's succeeded with it. So she's a very valuable resource. And now she's coming back for her thighs, and this is going to be essentially a full body transformation for her. And I'm super excited because she's already doing extremely well as far as her weight loss. She's down from, I want to say she was like 220 to 230 maybe when she had her procedures, and then now she's down to 180. So she's significantly lighter, which makes everything else look better. But she's just got her last little problem area with her thighs, so we're going to take care of that and narrow her out, and she's going to have a completely different body. It's really exciting when we're able to work with people like this and follow them throughout the entire transformation process, and see after each procedure how it's constantly changing. It's fun to see the progress. And not only that, the cool thing with Rebecca is you can see her, she's a public figure, and you can follow her and see how she's improved over the years. And not only that, the confidence that she exudes by, the type of posts that she's posting, the pictures that she's she's comfortable showing publicly now. When I spoke with her the other day, she's like, I never thought I'd be showing naked, like half naked pictures publicly to people. And here she is. She's literally emailing out or messaging out her pictures for people that are asking for before and afters. And it's, I think it's she's come a long way. And I've known her for, I think it's a little over 2-3 years now, and I've seen her progress not only in her confidence, but in her life and her business. She's a mother of one, actually she's got a boyfriend now, but she's a mother of a boy, and she's she's got all the same problems that we all have, right, with kids, and but you see how she's dealt with things and improved her life, and a lot of it is the mindset and how you think about uh, your life. And if you see yourself as a victim, you're going to act like a victim. And when you see yourself as the hero of your life, you're going to start becoming the hero of your life. So Rebecca is slowly becoming the hero of her life, and she's proving to herself that she deserves it. She's proving that by doing the right things. How she's eating better, she's going to the gym more often, she's drinking plenty of water, she's just more active in general. So she's proving to herself that she belongs and she deserves the body that she has now. Okay, Melissa Lewis from Facebook says, just did my request for consultation. Now I'm sitting on pins and needles, just waiting on consult in 2 days. That's awesome, exciting, Melissa. I'll be calling you shortly. You don't have to be nervous. I'm a nice guy. You get to see me publicly, ask me questions. Okay, does doing lipo give you loose skin? So that's kind of a loaded question because everyone's a little bit different, but you can see by the results that we get here that it is possible that your skin tightens up exceedingly well, like amazingly well. With that said, it's sometimes we don't get the results that we anticipated or the results that we wanted. So, you know, whenever you do any of these cosmetic type procedures, there's always going to be some type of risk that it doesn't necessarily turn out exactly the way that you anticipated. In fact, it's almost never how you anticipated. Hopefully it's better than you anticipated, but the reality is sometimes it's not better than what you anticipated, and it is, it kind of is what it is. Once you get into this game of changing your body through cosmetic procedures, there's risks involved. So while this is possible, it's also possible to not get that. Okay, Letitia Panel says, I will call tomorrow to set up my consultation. I filled out the quote form, but where is the finance company form? I'm ready for this. Okay, Letitia, so if you're ready, the first step is doing the formal consultation where you're gonna connect with me directly. So you want to make sure you do the formal consultation. That's where you're gonna submit photos, and that can be done online. You don't have to call the office for that. If you're having some issues with it, call the office. They can definitely help you out. It's so fun when you see these pictures behind us, and if you're like every other girl and you've been researching this before, if you go to plastic surgeons, inevitably they tell you need a tummy tuck. Like almost everybody they say needs a tummy tuck. It doesn't matter if you have loose skin, hanging belly, it doesn't matter. It's like everybody needs a tummy tuck, especially when you have a bigger belly. In most cases they won't even work on you because they say you need to be your ideal weight. Ideal weight, what does that even mean? So, in many cases it means you have to have a BMI of less than like 27, 28 maybe. This young lady here is closer to 40, a BMI. So, most of the plastic surgeons will turn these people away. And, if they don't and they do liposuction, and, in many cases you're not seeing these type of results. So, this is something that I've developed over time. I've done thousands of these procedures, and we've had great results, good results, bad results, and over the years I've learned from everything that I've done. So, when we had results that were less than satisfactory or not as good as we wanted to, I learned from it. Those are my lessons. That's how I get better at this. So, I've developed these techniques that have allowed us to break up that connective tissue that causes the fold, and in many cases these folds retract back and tighten up and it goes away completely. And you can see with this young lady behind me, it's incredible to where before the procedure you can barely see her bikini bottom, and after you can see how there's no fold at all, and this is just 7 weeks out. And some people might be like, well, where's the tummy tuck scar? And there's no tummy tuck scar. That's the thing that's incredible. So if you've been told that you have to have a tummy tuck, it's not necessarily true. It's possible that you don't need a tummy tuck. Now, let's say what happens. Let's say she got a liposuction and her skin was looser than she wanted. Then at that point, if you want to get the skin cut away, you can, and it's way easier because then you don't have all this fat to deal with, right? So my recommendation is get liposuction first. If we're able to achieve, what you're looking to accomplish, then great, you're done, and you go about your life. If you feel like you need more, you feel like you need a tummy tuck, then that's always possible. But since you don't have all that fat, it's literally just cutting the skin away. Many cases they can do that stuff under local anesthetic. Significantly safer and significantly cheaper that way. But in most cases, I would say 95 to 98% of people decide not to get a tummy tuck after liposuction. So, okay, do you work with someone who has had a lap band procedure in the past? I had a BBL, but a large area of my stomach was skipped because my surgeon was nervous about getting near my lap port. Yes, we do work with that, and I've worked with a lot of people who've had that issue. Typically, you can feel the port, you just stay away from it. You can kind of get close but not touch, kind of thing. But with that said, you always have to realize that the more aggressive we get in trying to do the liposuction around something like this, it's always possible. It's always possible that we hit it, we do something wrong. But with that said, I haven't had that issue before. But I do know, I'm humble enough to know that it's always possible, and you should know that as well. Okay, what did they get? Let's see, what did they get? Flat, tight tummy. So this is just liposuction, Miss OC Lolo. What did she get done? This is all liposuction only. And some of the patients will get fat transfer. So if we have like a larger butt or something like that, we do fat transfer to the butt, and the breast is the most common. But the cool thing is when you start seeing these pictures of these girls that, like, looking at their before pictures, the way they didn't smile as often as they do now, and they certainly would not have posted these pictures with them in sexy poses because they simply didn't feel sexy. So like this young lady here, she's a longtime patient of ours, and she continues to jump on, and hopefully she'll jump on today. So, but she, I know, would not have posted pictures of her, in these risque positions, we might say. So the confidence that you get after this procedure is, confidence is literally just a state of mind. So you don't have to get liposuction to get increased confidence. However, it seems as if people that get liposuction and they're able to visually see themselves look better, it allows them to attain this state of mind where they feel more confident. And in most cases, it's just a matter of relaxing. Because if you're always, you have anxieties and fears and things that you're worried about, you're never able to relax. And when you're confident, you're not worried. You're relaxed. So in many cases, it's focusing on relaxing your mind, relaxing your body, and just being confident and comfortable in your body. It doesn't really matter whether you're big, whether you're small, because people come in all different sizes and shapes, and it's just a matter of you deciding, you know what, this is who I am right now, this is who I am, and like it or not, here I come. And if you can have that attitude, then you'll stop worrying what other people think about you. And I think that is probably the key to why people struggle with insecurities, is they're worried about what other people think. These girls that come to me, they're like, yeah, I'm unable to wear a short sleeve shirt because look at these arms. I'm like, that arm looks normal. What are you talking about? Well, no, look at this. These are huge. These are huge. See this? See this? I got this flabby. There's no way I can't wear short sleeve shirts. And the truth is, yes, you can, but you decide not to. So what I tell people is, like, when you get to this level, when you start withdrawing from the shared reality, meaning when you start withdrawing from hanging out with friends or going to different public places or wearing certain clothes, when you start withdrawing because of your insecurities, that's when it's affecting your life. And you need to become conscious of these things and start making changes, because if you don't change, then you're going to continue along that path for indefinitely, and your life will only slide down, because these things where you're hiding and your fear and your anxiety, that's the kind of stuff that will stop you from achieving any level of success in your life. It's a little thing that affects everything. If you don't feel good about yourself, then you're less likely to show yourself publicly. If you don't show yourself publicly, then you have less opportunities. Less opportunities, and your life is limited. And it's that simple. And from the same respect, it starts from the ground up. If you start to look better about, and you start to feel better about yourself, you get more confidence, you start to achieve more things. Then you start feeling as if you're worthy to be seen, because you've put forth the efforts, you've done the things that you believe are necessary to achieve this level of confidence. And the more that you do, the more confidence you get. It's like a muscle, you build it. You're welcome. What is that? Nasty Fawn the Booty? That's funny. These names. So, but when you see pictures like these I love showing. On larger individuals, we are able to get more fat out for bigger, more dramatic change, and obviously we can take fat out of big people, small people, all people. But more the bigger changes, our visual changes, we show those here. But we have smaller individuals that get this procedure as well. There's men that get this procedure. So if your husbands have that belly hanging in the front, they want to get rid of that. It's definitely something we can take care of. Now, what kind of issues is this solving other than cosmetic? Because larger individuals, they have more problems than just cosmetic, and with many of them, that's actually the cosmetic is the least of their concerns. As they get bigger, you have issues with high blood pressure. You may be pre-diabetic or diabetic already. You have high cholesterol, and as you have those issues, they advance to things like heart failure and coronary artery disease. So as the cholesterol is in your system for extended periods of time, it starts to clog all your arteries and vessels. Diabetes increases the speed of all of that. So being heavier, many of you may start to realize that it's going to severely limit your life. Not only just the physical, but you're starting to see the health ramifications and consequences of the actions. And so that's the point, right? When it's like a slap in the face, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening to me. That's when you got to change. And you got to realize that it's never too late to change. You can always improve and get better. These individuals with the diabetics, liposuction is actually making it so you decrease the amount of medication needed. And some of them are getting off medication altogether. High blood pressure. When we remove large volumes of fat, it inherently decreases the blood pressure. So how does that work? When you have all this fat, the body has to create all these little tiny blood vessels to feed the fat, so it's bringing nutrients and oxygen to help keep the fat alive, right? Because it's part of your body. Well, all that nutrients and oxygen requires a lot of different blood vessels, like thousands, millions of blood vessels, tiny blood vessels. And those tiny little blood vessels, your heart is pumping, right? It's pumping. It's got to pump all that blood all throughout, circulate your entire body. So in order to push through all these small little blood vessels, it has to pump harder. It's more work for your heart. Therefore, just like if you were running, and the faster you run, the more tired you get, the quicker, right? So if you're able to slow the heart pumping down, slow the pressure down, or reduce the pressure so it doesn't have to pump as hard, then your heart's going to last longer, and you're going to be healthier, and it's not going to fail at a young age, because that's what happens. A heart attack, right? When people get like a heart attack, is because their heart is failing. There's also the cholesterol that causes the arteries to get clogged up. That happens in the heart, it happens in the neck, it happens all over the body. And it's the cholesterol is related to the fats. It's like a oil. So it's like an oily substance that gets clogs up your arteries. Just like if you dump oil down your drain at your house, it's going to clog it up and cause issues. It's the same thing that happens to your body. Same things that happens to your heart. All the vessels in the body. And diabetes, it seems to increase the speed at which all of these things happen. So all the bad things that start to happen to your body, the diabetes increases the speed. And what I found when I worked at the hospital many, many moons ago, most patients in the hospital were diabetic, most of them, unfortunately. And so diabetes leads to many of the other health problems that people experience. So you may have diabetes, but you're dealing with heart disease, you're dealing with eye problems, you're dealing with numbness in your feet. These are all consequences of diabetes, and you tend to heal a lot slower. So if you're ready to change your life, and this is a matter of like, when you realize that the consequences of your habits, the bad stuff that you've been doing, the consequences are so much to where it's going to kill you. And when you start having that realization that at some point these disease processes will kill you, they will take your life. It's inevitable. If you continue down the path of destruction, it's inevitable that you're going to be destroyed. So this is a mental shift in a way of doing things different. And if you can do that, you can transform your entire life. Now, liposuction is not like it solves all your problems. It certainly does not solve all your problems, but it's a catalyst. It's like that extra little chemical that gets infused in you that helps you to really push forward and advance and have the motivation and inspiration to get the results that you want. Because in order to get the results that you want, you have to change your lifestyle. Or else the things that you do, they cause these problems. And once you have this realization that all the things in your life, all the issues that you may have, they are all your responsibility to change or not change. And so if you take 100% responsibility, then instead of being the victim where all these things are just happening to you, you be the one in control and say, nope, I'm going to control this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to work really hard. So I'm going to be healthy. So I'm going to take control of this stuff that's gotten out of control. And you can do that. If you feel like your life is out of control, you feel like you're not able to do anything because you're at the mercy of this fat, it's time to change. Okay. Figueroa Jessica says the consultation is free or we pay. So it's both. If you want to just get basic pricing, then we have our quick quote system on Facebook up above. You can click on the link there. You can get a quick quote. It's instant. It's immediate. Just fill out the information. You can do it while we're speaking right now. When you're ready to move forward, in order to have a procedure at MyShape Lipo, you have to do a formal consultation with me. So you'll send in pictures directly, and I'm going to speak to you to make sure that we're on the same page and we have and you understand the plan. See, small girls, big girls, doesn't matter. And you can see this is like just a few weeks out, but many of you might have skin issues. Almost all these women have had multiple kids. They have stretch marks. They've gained weight, lost weight. This story is very, very common. So if you're exploring at this point and you're not sure what to do, I highly, highly suggest that you join our private Facebook group, and you can communicate with individuals that are just like you. Individuals that went through the same process, the same struggles, the ups, the downs, the stretch marks, the irregular stuff, the feeling a certain way about yourself, the psychological issues. These women, I'm telling you, when people put on weight like this, these women tend to have a lot of the same problems. And that's a bonding and binding factor for these women. So that's why when we have our private Facebook group, a lot of them, they get along because they get each other. They understand that the struggle is the same. And when my struggle is the same as your struggle, then we can work together to both solve the problem. And now we got multiple minds thinking about it. And the truth be said, there's a lot of women thinking and trying to solve the same problem And when they figure out solutions, they share. And so that sharing of the solutions is the way that you will be able to accomplish your dreams significantly faster. That's the value of having a mentor, is the mentors can guide you away from the problems and the pitfalls and guide you towards the success. Now, clearly, you still have to take this. Still have to take the steps. A mentor. We can only shine the light on the path for you. We can't make you walk down the path. Another saying is, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. So those who want to be helped will be helped. Those who are not quite at that point where they're ready to make the life change, then they're not going to get the help that they need. They say there's an old Chinese proverb that says, when the student is ready, the master will appear. So the information is always there. It's always there. The people to share the information, we're always here. It's just that when are you ready to accept the information? Because the information is worthless until you put it into action. So when I tell you how this is possible, you can take that information, and if you do nothing with it, then it's wasted. It's completely wasted. But if I tell you you can get rid of your belly, the thing that's been bothering you for the past decade, 2 decades, the thing that's causing you health issues, but you can get rid of it, and I show you how it's done, and I show you multiple examples of it. If you're not willing to take action on that, then you can't complain anymore, because you already know that how the solution is going to be here. So some people will instead of saying, I'm going to go do it, they'll start making excuses like, oh, but it's expensive. Oh, but I don't have the time off of work. Oh, but it's all the way in Vegas, and I can't travel, or whatever your excuse is. That you got to realize that to some extent that's all it is. It's just an excuse, because once you know what is possible, achieving it is just a matter of getting on the path to accomplish that goal. What does that mean? Get the quick quote, right? So you know what the pricing is. Maybe you got that money now. Awesome. We got 15% off special. You can take advantage of that. Cool. Maybe you don't. But now you know what the price is going to be. So start working towards it. Put away $100 a month, $200 a month. Maybe you go look into financing. Maybe you go get a side hustle. There's lots of different side hustles now. You can, drive Uber, or I don't know, do whatever other stuff we can make some extra money. But there's options, and when you make an excuse, it allows you to stop. So don't make those excuses. Instead, start focusing on how you can make it happen. So instead of getting stuck on how it can't happen, get stuck on how you can make it happen. What things you can do to take actions. This is a huge success story here. This young lady, she had high blood pressure and PCOS. And I'll tell you, over the years, I've seen quite a few really amazing success stories, but this one stands out to me. PCOS is one of these female diseases or issues that, for her in particular, made it so she had irregular periods, and she was not getting her period, but once or twice a year, and it was completely irregular. And after the procedure, 4 months after the procedure, she said for the past 4 months since the procedure, she's gotten her regular period consistently when she should have gotten it, that's amazing. It's life-changing for her, because she had so many issues with that, and it's helped. And the truth is I have no idea how it did that, why it did that. All I know is that fat does relate to the hormones, and when you remove the fat, the hormones change. And when the hormones change, it affects a lot of different aspects of your body, and that's why you can appreciate some of these various changes that we can't really explain. It helps your confidence. It's a different look, but women say that it reduces their appetite afterwards. Okay. I've had people tell me that lowers the blood pressure. There are studies that say that lowers your cholesterol, it decreases your diabetic profile. The studies have corroborated that. I've had patients that have fibromyalgia. This is where they have pain all over the place, and we did liposuction, and magically some of their pain went away. And these are people who have very random pain that is very difficult to treat, and somehow liposuction was able to help it. So I say this not to say that, liposuction is this end all be all solve all your problems. That's certainly not the case. But what I say this for is that if you have some weird things, sometimes something weird like liposuction might might have an effect. Um, because most of the medical treatment of the disease processes are not not addressing the foundational problem that caused the issue. Rather, in Western medicine, we utilize medications and drugs to essentially treat symptoms. So instead of treating the actual problem, we cover up the symptom by taking medication. But what that does is it allows the problem to continue to perpetuate. So as the problem gets worse, we just take more medication to cover it up. Case in point, uh, when you have high blood pressure, uh, most doctors will just give you blood pressure medication. When in fact, the reason why you have the high blood pressure is because of your diet. And so, unfortunately, the belief in the medical field, medical industry, is that individuals don't want to change their lifestyle, that they just want a pill. And so doctors have kind of gotten used to that. And like for diabetics, instead of getting on a really regimen program to change their diet to improve their diabetic profile, instead of doing that, they just give you medication and cover it up. So they allow you to continue living the negative lifestyle that you live and just cover up the problem. And that's certainly not in your best interest. And in the long term, you just continue to recreate more and more problems until they get so bad that you expire. And that's life. And that's the question you got to ask yourself is, why hasn't our life expectancy improved in like a long time? I think the life expectancy is like 87 years old, which, I mean, it's been like that since I was a kid. It's been like that a long time. So, but there's lots of technological advancements. Why aren't we living longer? Why? That's what I was questioning. And so as I come to find out that the reason why we're not living longer is because of the things that we're being told, that and the food that we've been given and the toxins that we've been exposed to. These are all the reasons why we don't live longer. But you have the ability, just like I do, to read. And to now you can get this information and you can do the things that are necessary for yourself. And don't wait for other people to do it for you, because nobody else really cares. The government doesn't really care about you as an individual. They care about the people as all, right? So just because you have an issue, they're like, yeah, so what? We were able to feed these millions of people, but so what if it hurts you? That's kind of they look at it as the greater good. But unfortunately, if we want to offer cheap food to people, the way that we've done it is we offer cheap food, but it has pesticides, heavy metals, and other toxins that are damaging our bodies. So those of us who exposed ourselves to those toxins, we pay the consequences after decades of exposure. Now, once you start learning this stuff and you start realizing that you don't have to expose yourself to these toxins, you don't have to expose yourself to the things that are going to cause the health issues, and there's specifically things that you can do to reduce your risk, like drinking plenty of water, like being active, like protecting yourself, essentially doing the things that are preemptively going to avoid health issues. And if you can do these things, then just like a car, if you can maintain yourself, and you can maintain yourself to live longer, just like a car. And if you've ever been to Cuba, which I have not, but I've seen pictures, and in Cuba apparently they don't get any new cars, and so they have a bunch of old cars from the 50s and 60s that they just continue to repair. And I spoke with a Cuban patient of mine, and she was telling me how, they jerry-rigged the parts, tape, and they make things work to continue the life of these cars. And our bodies are the same thing. It's like we're just a vehicle. This body is just a vehicle, and we have the ability to do things to manage and maintain our body. so it lasts longer, right? Like simple stuff like our skin, right? We can take there's certain things we can do to take care of our skin, moisturizing, drinking plenty of water, making sure for our with us lighter skinned people we're wearing sunblock, washing your face. There's simple things that you can do that will improve. It's not going to stop completely the aging process, but it improves. Exercising, taking different supplements, eating the right foods. Now that we're aware, there's a lot of different superfoods that have super nutrients that help our body to function better. And a lot of the indigenous people are we're finding that there are foods, these superfoods that have more nutrients that are allowing people to live longer, and there's foods that help solve a lot of our health problems. So instead of treating yourself with medications, you can treat yourself with food. Glorious Woman, what's up from South Carolina? Okay, and Rebecca Cardenas, she is a great before and after. Wish these procedures could be covered for certain Cushing's issues. Yeah, Cushing's disease. It's common after people take oral steroids for extended periods of time. I believe it's an issue with the adrenal gland. Cushing's disease. I've had quite a few patients that have had that issue. It's a tough issue. With liposuction, it can help, but it's obviously it's not solving the base problem of what's causing your issue. So you may continue to have issues with, obviously you'll continue to have issues with the Cushing. What's up, Sasha? So as a reminder, we got this 15% off special going on right now. The deal is that you have to place your deposit by the end of this month and have the procedure by the end of next month. And I'll tell you what, the space is limited. So once the schedule is filled, we are going to end the sale, even if it's before the end of the month. So make sure that you get your deposit in quickly so you take advantage of this. The deposit is 25% of the procedure costs, and so once you place the deposit by the end of this month, you just have to have the procedure by next month. So if you're looking at getting the pricing, you're still unsure, definitely get your quick quote. You can go to our website, myshapelipo.com, get the quick quote there, you get the pricing. And then if you're still unsure, you're not, you want to talk to somebody, go to our private Facebook group, My Shape Lipo Support Group. So you go into Facebook and you search My Shape Lipo Support Group, and once you get into our private Facebook group, you'll be able to communicate directly with these individuals. Also, Facebook's really cool the way this works is you can search within the group specific questions. So like say you have a question, search the question within the group, and it'll source all of the posts that have those words in it. There's also, like, if you find someone up here, these pictures that you like, if you search their name, you can see all of their pictures, so you can see their entire progress, their entire journey over, and sometimes their journeys are years long, so you can continue to see an improvement, or you can see how they've changed their lifestyle and that they're having more fun. Like I like these pictures here with this young lady. She's dressing nice, and it's unlikely that people would have been dressing up in these type of form-fitting tight outfits when they didn't feel comfortable and confident. And that's the thing that's it's sad to see when people limit themselves because of their insecurities. And if you consider all of the instances in your life when you decided not to do something, decided not to go somewhere, decided not to spend time with somebody just because of your insecurity, when you accumulate that and add that all up, I think you'll be surprised at how much being heavier has limited you. And that's when you can start to appreciate after the fact, when you naturally start getting drawn into doing more things. and you naturally feel more comfortable and confident doing these things just because now you're moving forward and you're improving. As you improve, every little improvement gives you that much more confidence. And as you achieve these different milestones in your progress, it's it's a matter of uh, elevating your mind to the point where it's like now I'm here. Now I'm able to do these things. But the truth is like you were always able to. So it's just a matter of getting to that point where you feel comfortable and confident to do whatever it is that you want to do. And I don't know whether that's wearing some like workout clothing, or you know going wearing some nightgown, going to some formal dinner, or whatever the case. That's you, and your ability to do the things that you may not have been able to do before. That's the exciting thing about this procedure. And I just want to tell you that it's possible. It's possible to live your best life, and you don't have to restrict yourself, because there's lots of examples of people that have really transformed their lives, transformed their body, transformed their mind. And we've essentially laid out this path, and now we're just shining the light on it. You don't have to make the stuff up anymore. You don't have to wonder, okay, what am I supposed to do? Just follow the path. These ladies behind me they've walked the path, they've had their success, and they're sharing. They're sharing it with you. They're sharing it with everybody, and I'm here sharing with you and telling you this is how it's possible for you. And all you have to do is start taking the next step down this path. Getting the quick quote, getting the consultation, putting down the deposit, and just keep moving forward. And as you move forward, your life slowly changes. And the whole process takes time. It's about a year out, and all of a sudden you look back at yourself, and you look back at where you came from, and it's shocking. It blows you away, and it's so exciting. I mean, this is just 3 weeks post-op, and she's saying she has no faha, and she's had a weight reduction in almost 20 pounds. And you see how that big belly, with that big belly, the type of clothes that she wore was just trying to cover it up. But clearly it wasn't covering up. It was like a big sheet. And everybody can kind of see right through it, right? But somehow these individuals think that they're covering up their insecurities. And the reality is that it's you're actually highlighting it. And so with the liposuction, it eliminates the problem. And when you eliminate the problem, the insecurity is gone too. So this has happened for so many women, and I know that it can happen for you. And if you're struggling and you can't figure out what to do with yourself, what's the next step for you? You've tried a lot of things. You have a lot of people giving you opinions. I promise you ask 5 people, 5 different opinions will be said. So same thing with here. My opinion is my opinion, and it's based off of my experience. So if you're going to go somewhere else and get another opinion, it's going to be just that. It's going to be a different opinion. Their recommendations will be different based off of their experience and the results that they've been able to get. So my recommendations are based off of my results, my experience, and what I know is possible for you. So making the decision to change your life is something. It's like you have to make a decision. And when you make the decision, that's when your life changes. You'll appreciate the change down the road, but your life changed at that moment. When you decide that enough is enough and I'm not going to do this anymore, that's when your life changes. But you have to commit to it. And in most cases, you have to get leverage on this. You're like, I really want to change because I want to be healthy. And for most people, that by itself is not strong enough. Why do you want to be healthy? Or if you don't get healthy, what's going to happen to you in 5 years or 10 years? So when you're carrying all this extra weight, if you can start to imagine, so this is how we get leverage to get a stronger why we want this, right? So if you could try to imagine what's going to happen to yourself if you don't change your diet, you don't change your exercise, you don't change your lifestyle, if you don't do any of these things now, What's going to happen to you in 5 years or 10 years? If you're having health issues now, how much worse are they going to be in 5 years or 10 years? And if you can start to really appreciate that and realize the consequences of your actions that you're appreciating today, that will get you enough leverage to seriously decide enough is enough and I need to change. And it becomes a must. Instead of I should lose weight, or I should get in shape, or I should get healthier, it becomes a must. I must get healthier, or else the consequences are too much to bear. And if they're too much to bear, that's when people are ready to change. And if you're ready to change, please, that's when I want to connect with you. Because those people that are ready to change, that's when we can get the huge dramatic changes in your life. Huge changes. Then you couple that with the exercise, the diet, the drinking more water, all the basic habits of living a healthier lifestyle, and you couple that with liposuction, and that's when the big dramatic changes happen. Okay, Sasha, are you guys hiring for MAs? Unfortunately, right now we are not. However, if you want to send your resume over to the office, we can hold on to that. Okay, what is the max amount of fat that can be removed for a procedure using local anesthesia? Well, it's not a defined amount, particularly here in Vegas. And from my research, the studies have shown that it's more of like a percentage of the body fat. So larger individuals, there seems that it's safer to remove larger amounts of fat. So, we've been tooling with the amount that we get out, and we pushed the limits for many years. And, I would, for you, I would just focus less on the number and just look at the results that are possible. So we're going to get enough fat to get these kind of results. And I don't stop unless we get everything, all the stuff that I want to do. So it's not like I get a certain amount out and be like, okay, well, that's it for today, thank you, and send you off. I don't do that. That's why we try to come up with the procedure size where I can address for example, an individual like this, she's larger, right? So we can't do 360 lipo because it wouldn't be safe to take off that substantial amount of fat all the way around the waistline. So we treated the front of the abdomen, and I isolated and treated only the front of the abdomen, so then I can maximize the amount of fat that we get off of there, and you see what happens. The fold goes away. But you have to maximize, and you have to be ultra aggressive on that specific area in order to get those kind of results. And if you're not, and you try to do like 360, you wouldn't be able to be that aggressive. Because if you were that aggressive on that large of an area, it would have traumatic effects to the body. This is a traumatic procedure, and there are side effects and there are issues that can happen. So when we push the limits too far, you can get issues. And what are those issues? It's typically, so specifically with larger volume liposuction, when we're removing larger volumes of fat, it's as if your body is being dehydrated. So we're taking this volume off, and your body is left severely dehydrated afterwards. And the severe dehydrations, the signs would be lightheadedness, dizziness, fainting, nausea, vomiting, and you kind of just feel like you got run over by a truck. You're just tired and feel like crap. So that's when we get ultra aggressive. And individuals that, because we know it's a volume issue, because we know it's the fluids, if you preload your body with water, so drinking plenty of water for the week prior to the procedure, the day of the procedure, so you're fully loaded with the fluids. When we remove that large volume of fat, your body's able to accommodate a lot easier. So we are still able to get that large volume of fat off in the patients that are have good fluids in their system. They tend to do a lot better. So I hope that answered your question. It's not an exact amount, but we get a lot of fat off. Okay, Miss OC Lolo says, how long is the recovery? So the recovery is obviously going to be a little bit different for everybody. Our statistics show that about 85% of our patients say that they are able to get back to sedentary type work within 3 to 5 days. But the larger volume people, it may take a little bit longer. Larger volume patients, we tend to get more swelling, more bruising. Things are just everything's elevated. It's just a little bit more challenging. The compression garments don't seem to fit properly, so you have compression issues. So it's a process, and you just got to go through the process. Sasha says, do you do lipo of the face? Yeah, we call it the chin, and the chin is chin, neck, and jowls, and a lot of other companies call it. So we're gonna go above the jawline here, and what that does is it narrows the face out, and you can see from this picture here how she had kind of like a square face from the fullness in here. When you take this away, it elongates and narrows the face. Then we take everything below the jawline and the neck, and that effectively defines the jawline. And so you can see how you can see the jawline now on this side profile where you weren't able to see it in the before picture, because when you fill in the fat up here and fill in down below, it makes your face neck goes into one another. So yes, amazing procedure, really easy, and the results are very quick. Okay, what's the name of the private group? If you go to Facebook, it's a My Shape Lipo support group. Okay, Miss OC says, I'm ready, but I'm not sure what's the best thing for me. Well, then that's where you should get the formal consultation. You'll get my opinion. I'll look at your pictures specifically. You tell me your story. Tell me what your expectations are, what your concerns are, and we'll come up with something that fits your needs. And I have my beliefs, my philosophies, and my recommendations. I've been doing this for a long time, so I've seen people make decisions. Some of them made decisions that I agreed with, some of them didn't. So I've seen when people make decisions what the consequences are, and so I will have the ability to share those consequences with you. And so when you make a decision, it's important to know all of your options for one. And if you do various options, there's going to be slightly different consequences of each option. So that's where the consultation is really important, so you understand, if I do, for example, a lot of people come to me and they have full body issues. They're full up top, they're full in the midsection, they're full down low. Now, many of these girls will come to me and they're like, I want to do my arms and my upper body or my back, that my upper back, that bothers me the most. And when I see people, I look at proportions, and I look at proportions between the upper body, the midsection, and the lower body. And typically humans want to see this hourglass figure. So you're a little bit bigger up top, you're narrow in the middle, and a little bit bigger down below. So that creates the illusion of this hourglass figure. And that's the proportions that we're looking for. Now, it doesn't even matter whether you are a big hourglass figure, so you could be 250 pounds, but if you're curvy, it's considered beautiful, right? It's when you have this apple shape, when you're wide in the midsection, or so when I look at proportions, if you are a person that you're full all throughout the body, many times they'll get this like SpongeBob SquarePants. They're square in shape. They're a box. So when you treat the upper body, it's going to make the upper body smaller, and then the midsection is wider and the lower body is wider. So your angles are such that it's like a pyramid. You're smaller up top, wider in the middle, wider down below. That's not the optimal proportions. It's smaller in the midsection, bigger up top, bigger down below. So my suggestion, in most cases, is let's address those proportional issues first. So take the belly, the midsection. Once we get that midsection cinched in, girls call it snatched. Once we get it snatched in, then it makes everything else look better. Just by itself, it'll make everything else look better. Now, after you do that, then you can move on to doing the upper body or the lower body. This is my opinion. This is my process, the way that I've done it over the years, and I've seen it work for people. With that said, if you're planning on getting everything done anyways, it makes no difference what order you do it in. Now, the order that you do things in will leave you looking a certain way for a period of time. But if that period of time is short, then it is what it is, right? So people that need the full body liposuction, you have to make decisions. and you have to determine, you know, how quickly do you want to get the next one done, and then are you okay with the in-between period where, you know, things are not treated. Hope that answered the question. That's a long-winded answer. Okay, how long is the period of time between the two pics? Oy, I have no idea now since we changed these pictures, but they're all a little bit different. You'll see in many of these pictures they're still swollen, and you can tell they're still swollen by the indentations you see from the compression garment. So if they're wearing the compression garment still, you can still see like the indentations and the little wrinkles and stuff, the ridges that are caused by the compression garment. But you know, a lot of these ones, I don't know, this might be a couple months out when swelling's down. But you know, you'll see these pictures are all over the place as far as their time frame. There's some that are just a couple weeks out. There's some that are a couple years out. There's some that, you know, had fat transfers, some that didn't have fat transfers. So you should be able to get a sampling of just about everything. All right. Well, that's about it for me today. Just a reminder, we do have this 15% off special. And the first step, you want to get your pricing, go to the quick quote. You can do that at our website, myshapelipo.com. On Facebook, it's up in the post here. Once you get that pricing and then you're serious, you're ready to move forward, the next step is getting a formal consultation with myself. And so you're going to send in pictures, and we're going to develop a plan, answer all your questions. And the time that you take advantage of this special is when you place the deposit. Now, this special is only good when you place the deposit. If you've already placed your deposit, it's too late. And then if you are not placing your deposit, that's, you know, you're obviously not taking advantage of the special. Now, you have to place the deposit before the end of this month, and then the procedure needs to be done by the end of next month. Space is limited, so if you do want to take advantage of this, make sure that you get in quickly. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back next time.